The cost for Guatemala is, one, the best government in the history of Guatemala was overthrown. All the reforms are eradicated. The 100,000 peasants lost their land. Then, what the United States did was to strengthen the Guatemalan army and created a Frankenstein that has ruled Guatemala together with the Guatemalan upper class ever since then, and which is responsible for the slaughter of about 150,000 Guatemalans, for making of the Guatemala the worst human rights case in the hemisphere.
Now the village mission bells are softly ringing. If you listen with your heart, you'll hear them singing. Vaya con Dios.
United Fruit saw profits rise once more, while Americans remained largely unaware of the secret subversion of their own democratic principles. The supply of bananas had not been interrupted.
So now that you've seen where bananas come from before they reach your table, our journey to Banana Land is ended. We hope you enjoyed the trip. We know you like bananas.
Our sins were that we crushed a very small country. And in so doing, we learned bad lessons which would come back to haunt us in some ways in Cuba, and I think in Vietnam as well.
1 year after the Guatemala coup, the United States began funding an anti-communist government in South Vietnam. Back home, few Americans paid attention to Guatemala or Vietnam. There were other things to occupy their minds.
Gimme that quick, that Jiminy Jack. You make my heart go clickety-clack.
In 1955, new phrases entered the American language. Automated, church key, cue card, demolition derby, rock and roll, UFO, cleavage.
Hunkies, pieces, fight.
That same year, the country caught Davy Crockett fever, as kids who loved the TV show bought $100 million worth of coonskin caps and fringe leather jackets. The American public would not become aware of their secret government until the 1960s, when a failed invasion of Cuba known as the Bay of Pigs and a growing involvement in Vietnam led many Americans to question whether their leaders were telling them the truth. Ironically, it would be television, the very medium that made its mark as a selling machine, that would bring the horror of war into American living rooms.